Many people think you should resign as president. What are you going to do?
I love so much my daughters, and they love me so much. I'm very happy, and I'm very proud of them. Very proud of them. They are very near to me. About my resignation, yes, I'm going to do.
You're going to resign?
Yeah, I'm going to. Yes, because I cannot continue my work.
So that was the head of the Spanish Soccer Federation, Luis Rubiales, who resigned on Sunday on Piers Morgan's show, weeks after kissing Jenny Hermoso of the Spanish women's national team on the lips forcibly after the team won the World Cup last month, absolutely desecrating what should have been a very joyous and momentous occasion for the Spanish women's national team, who has never won a World Cup before. It was their first ever World Cup victory, and he ruined that moment with his selfish and disgusting and violative act. So let's get into some more details. First, let's start with the statement that he released following his interview with Piers Morgan. It says, after the rapid suspension carried out by FIFA, plus the rest of proceedings open against me, it is evident that I will not be able to return to my position. My daughter's disgusting to invoke them when we all watched you absolutely disrespect women. But anyway, my daughters, my family, and the people who love me have suffered the effects of persecution excessively, as well as many falsehoods. But it is also true that in the street, the truth is prevailing more every day. The truth, you did it on camera. The whole world watched you do it. What is the truth? Not only did you do it, you then you followed it up by lying on Jenny Hermoso and claiming that it was consensual, despite the fact that there's a video of her immediately after saying that she didn't want it. She didn't want it. So this false narrative of you being a victim is despicable. It is disgusting. And it is something we see so often with violence against women and disrespecting women's boundaries and their consent. But for anyone who is not as clued into this, obviously a lot of the viewers know I'm very passionate about women's soccer. I'm a huge fan of soccer, but particularly women's soccer. But for anyone who's a little bit less clued in, let's just bolster this with some facts for you all. After the Spanish players defeated England 1-0 and lined up on stage in Sydney, Australia to collect their medals before lifting the World Cup trophy, Mr. Rubiales enthusiastically grabbed Jenny Hermoso, kissed her on the cheeks, and then kissed her fully on the lips. Now we can't, unfortunately, due to copyright law of all things, show you the video of the incident, but we can show you a screenshot of the picture. You can see that he grabs her head and forces her to kiss him on the lips. And as I mentioned earlier, there was a video following up with her and the players celebrating in the locker room, and they are talking to her. It's all in Spanish, but the translation is they're sort of laughing about the kiss, and she's saying, I didn't want it, I didn't like that. So from the New York Times, he offered a tepid apology the next day, but by the end of the week, he had dug in his heels and reversed course, insisting that Ms. Hermoso had moved me close to her body during their encounter on stage. So disgusting. Feet from the Spanish queen. He also accused his critics of targeting him in a social assassination and declared that he will not step down, although we know that he just did. Soccer Federation had called for him to resign immediately. Female players had said they would not take the field for the national team as long as he was in charge. The men's team had condemned his actions, and FIFA, soccer's governing body, had suspended him for 90 days. I'll also add, there were some players for the men's national team in solidarity, at least one, and several former players who said they would not play for the men's national team, who anyone who follows soccer might know right now is on an international break. They're playing with their national team. There actually was at least one player for the men's team who said he would not answer the call up if he was called up to play, but they didn't go nearly far enough to support the women's team. I saw a lot of posters around the stadiums during the following weeks where that said, Contigo, is that what it is? Maybe I'm saying wrong, Jenny, but it's saying, we're with you, Jenny. we support you, but there just wasn't enough from the men's team did not do enough to stand up for her. So I'm glad that he's resigned now, but there is so much more they could have done that they didn't. And it always seems that when it comes to supporting women, it's the same few people on the men's side of football who do it. Just the same couple, and so many of them are just not brave enough, or they don't care enough about the women's team, about women's sport, to stand up for what we all saw as a grotesque injustice. And then to have Luis Rubiales' mother go on a hunger strike to support her son. I mean, the whole fiasco was just so abhorrent and so shameful. The way that he doubled, tripled, quadrupled down, started attacking her and started attacking her teammates. Again, I said this at the beginning of the story, but Senator, it was just, they ruined this moment. They took away the joy that these women should have been experiencing.
Yeah, that is true, Ray. There will not be a do-over here. His declaration that he was not going to resign was very short-lived, and that in fact is a beautiful thing. And hopefully moving forward, the team can soak up the well-deserved victory and adoration that they so rightfully deserve. But that particular moment will not be recaptured. Now, I'm from this school, so I don't necessarily, now his mama going on a hunger strike and all that, I'm put that in the parking lot. I don't know why his mama did that. She can certainly show support for her son, but also say in that moment that her son was wrong. I mean, anybody that's asking somebody's mama to go, against them is really asking a lot. Mothers can be supportive of their children and still say that a certain act that their child did was wrong. So maybe his mother doesn't feel that way by her going on hunger strike. Maybe she doesn't. I will also say that I do not believe that the venom for his action should be directed to his family, to his daughters, to his wife, and even to his mother. She didn't do it. She's supporting her son the way that she feels is right to do. I don't, agree with it, but here we are. But for folks to come after his family in that way, that is absolutely wrong. He is the one that deserves the venom. He is the one who should have been suspended. I'm glad that they did. He is the one who had to resign on national television. Glad he did that, but he didn't do it on his own. He was forced to do it, Ray. And I think that's the point that you're really making, because there was an outcry from many people who support that team, who were abhorred by what he did to that player. And if he was left to his own devices, he would not have resigned. And that shows his character flaw through and through. He is gone. That is neither here nor there. They will move on in triumph. And hopefully this is a lesson, or we're gonna be going back over things like this over and over again, unfortunately, because human nature dictates that this lesson may not have been learned. But maybe in the short term, hopefully this is a lesson learned. And I hope that team can, move on and just really bask in the glory of what they deserve.
Absolutely, absolutely. And hopefully this sets a precedent moving forward, because for so often, for anyone who follows women's soccer, women's sports generally, these coaches, these managers, the heads of the organizations get away with, abusing the players behind the scenes for far too long. We had a huge issue with it here in the United States. My own team, the Chicago Red Stars, was a huge scandal, and it took forever to oust these managers, these corrupt people. So, glad to see him out. I'm glad to see a lot of outcry about it. And hopefully we'll carry that same energy when inevitably this type of action happens again, until eventually, hopefully, we get past this point and this way that women are treated.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.